Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, and most importantly, if you would like to join the debate with the page you are currently watching on mute, simply click the link in the info box to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected, and if you are, please do not try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcome back on the next stream. In a moment, I'm going to share the show on Facebook, Skype and Twitter, as we've just had a Chrome crash. So I'm going to share this new stream. If you are still in the live stream from the old stream, please share the show again, as this is actually a new feed. I'm going to need a few minutes literally just to get it together to get that stream up and running, as there are a few guests in the Hangout. So in a couple of minutes time I will rejoin the action. Massive thanks to all who have bared with us through this technical issue one last time. If you haven't done so already, please share this new stream, and if you've not done so already, please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Hopefully I'll be able to rejoin the Hangout unless there's 10 people in there. I think I've got everything else set up. We shall soon find out.
An individual.
There we go.
Yes.
Yo, what's up, Nathan? What's going on, bro?
I've just had
They're
a Chrome
trying
crash.
to shut you down.
It's the Illuminati trying to shut me down.
Yeah.
Why is it every time Pete Shea appears I get sniped?
Pete Shea's just a troll. Somebody's got a lot of feedback. I think it's Lottie.
Yeah, I think Lottie's got the watch page open.
Yeah, you've got the watch page open, Lottie. I've muted you anyway. Right, so we're back on the air. I've done a new introduction. Everybody should be heard. I just need to check a couple of other things, but as far as I can tell, thank you for bearing with me, the audience. Please
Yeah,
share
we've
the
only got
show
one
as we have a
stupid
new
person in
link.
at the
This is a
moment,
new
right,
feed.
mate?
So
We have some more stupid people.
sorry, Mark. You just interrupt me. That's good.
Okay, sorry. Well, I didn't hear you talking, Nathan. Sorry, but you're really quiet.
Yeah, I'm done. You guys carry on. I think we can see and hear, and everything's working as far as I can tell.
Good show, Nathan. Thanks.
You have a new guest that was not a couple that were not in the previous hangout.
My
Okay.
name's Jimmy, and I like flat Earth.
I'm not talking about you.
I'm new.
Somebody
Hey.
from the chat can just let me know if they can see and hear everything while I bring it up on my iPad. That'd be brilliant. Thank you very much.
Who is in
YouTube may
Scott?
snipe everybody out just to make my life even more stressful.
It's a disgrace, that guy, whoever's doing it. It's just, he probably thinks he's hacking the Matrix. Absolutely pathetic.
Tests
Yeah, just
my
to clarify,
It's not
tests my
pathetic,
tenacity.
it's telling, Chris. It's telling because
just to clarify for Ranty, I did
it
not
tells
snipe
us
you,
that
Ranty.
this
I
kind of
get more fun
conversation
from
they don't
mocking
want
you.
to have. The more people that listen to ballers talk nonsense, the more people that fall into line with the flat Earth. That's what they don't want to happen. They're trying to protect you. They're trying to protect all the
Are
ballers.
you defending the snipers now?
I mean, if we were really talking that much nonsense,
Ranty was sniped.
they wouldn't snipe the hangout. They would just leave.
Ranty was sniped.
Just ramble on speaking
What's up, Nathan?
nonsense.
Ranty was
Hi Tony,
sniped.
how you doing, Tony?
Anthony was sniped.
Yeah, Ranty and Anthony was sniped. Of course, that's telling. It's not pathetic.
But I get sniped last night 3 times.
Yeah, just to clarify, I didn't snipe anyone. I'll get more fun
I don't know how to
leaving
do
them
it.
in the hangout. So
Yeah, I'm
just to clarify that,
stupid to snipe.
I wouldn't snipe you, Ranty.
Right,
I'll
Tony.
get more fun exposing your life.
I think we've got Ranty and Riley back. I just want to check. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
Ranty, you there?
There you go.
All right.
Right, so, Mark, is there any evidence for the destruction of the weather vane thing? Do you know where the evidence is?
Yes, it's on Imrich's channel.
On
Well, it
Rick's
won't
channel.
be
Is that the evidence?
Sorry,
that you
Rick's
accept?
channel.
We can't, his videos don't stay up.
So that's basically.
he
So
might
you're
have it
accepting
on
hearsay evidence as truth, right?
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
You're accepting hearsay evidence as truth.
No.
listen.
Well, is there anything better than Imrich's channel as for in terms of the credibility, in terms of this?
Right. Have you got
this
any evidence
thing?
that it's still there, please?
Well, it appears to be there with the with
Oh, it
his own
appears
work.
to be. So that's hearsay then, isn't it?
Well,
No,
no,
the
'cause it's
government site says it's there.
The government
the
site
government
says
site
it's there,
does
and
not say
Soundly's
it's
got
there.
According to the
evidence in his
evidence
own
market,
work
it
that it
says
appears to
there.
be
No,
there.
it
So,
doesn't say
Otherwise,
it.
then
It
you're
doesn't
just talking
say it.
nonsense.
It doesn't
as
say
you
it's still
always
there.
do.
No, it
Show
does
us
not
Right,
say
hang
it's
on,
still
hang on.
there.
Otherwise,
Right,
you're
the
talking baloney.
the
No, it
What
does
is
not say
Yeah,
it's still there.
talking
What is
No.
the government evidence that's still there?
Yeah, so far it's there. So we'll
No,
go
it's
with it. It's
not.
there.
It appears
Based
to be there,
upon
Mark.
what first? Based upon what?
Based upon
On the evidence so far.
Before
What
before
evidence
Ranty got sniped,
first?
he showed that the website had been updated recently, and it didn't be.
That-
It wasn't
that
updated
doesn't
to say
prove
that
it's
it
still
had been
there, though.
destroyed.
Riley.
Okay, what
And
data
in
are
addition-
they gathering
wait,
from it
wait, wait.
currently?
In addition, Soundly
Yeah, good
appears
question.
to have captured light sources from the same area at the same distance at the same
What data
observation
was it
point.
updated with, Riley? Was it just simply you're going on the statement that it was updated, the page?
Just the
No, I'm
website.
going on
There was
Soundly
data
capturing evidence
received
himself.
from that station.
That's the
I'm going on the
standard
fact that
of
Sound
flat
is
Earth
also got
evidence.
evidence indicating it's still there. So what I'm asking is
Riley,
there any credible
Riley,
evidence
what
to show
data
that
was
it is
updated
gone?
with it?
Yeah, can you show us
Kurt,
the
are you
weather
going to
data for
show?
2016 off that
asking ridiculous
website? Please?
questions. Mark,
Keep
either
it
show
first.
it's here or show it's not.
Can
Or
you
stop
see us
asking
can you show us the
nonsensical
weather
questions.
data for 2016?
Yeah,
on
you're
that-
just taking
on
this in a
that
round and round
location,
and
please?
round and round.
Right,
Distorting
it's,
the
right,
facts.
it's a simple, it's a simple thing. Somebody said that
Yeah,
the
well,
thing
either
is
show
missing.
it.
Well,
Show
if
it.
it's a
Somebody
weather
has said
station,
that the thing,
Timo,
the
it
weather
records
thing
the
is
weather,
missing,
so
and we're
I'm
asking to
for the
see the
weather
evidence
That's the
data
that
problem
it's
with
been
you
destroyed.
guys. There's a lot of
2016 in that
talking, like I said before.
location.
You become very good preachers because you preach your
Right,
faith a
Timo,
lot.
so you just ramble on for hours and hours.
No, we don't
don't you?
ramble on.
real. He
We
never
want
says
to
anything.
show something. We'll show you.
So you're going to call out Ranty and Riley for being trolls like you did the other day, Kimo?
What are they trolling about? Where's the
Well,
trolling?
you know, when you call them trolls.
Well, no, I don't know, Mark. You said they were trolling. Where's the trolling?
Well, you told me they were trolls.
Well, where are they trolling? Show me where they're trolling. We'll talk about the trolling.
Well, you said
Right,
the man footage
Well, hang
was
on, I
trolling.
don't like
Right,
the way this is going.
let's stop
we should be
distracting.
talking about the evidence.
let's
I
stop
produced
distracting.
We haven't
evidence
got no
that
evidence,
the
Randy.
station is still there, and it lines up with Soundy's video,
No,
and
it's
Soundy
not
has
still
captured
there.
the weather
It's
station.
not
You
still
say
there.
that
You're
the weather
lying,
station is
Randy.
gone,
Stop
and I'm
lying.
asking
Well,
just
like
where
we
is
said,
the
are you going to
evidence?
show that it's
I
not
It's
there?
agree.
simple.
Well,
Where's the
show me the
evidence
weather
that it's
No,
been
you're
station.
not
It's a
destroyed?
weather
destroyed.
station. She showed me the weather data for 2016 at that location.
No, let's
If you
show
could do
the
that,
evidence
if
or
you could do that,
something
I'll
to show that it's
I'll
not there.
accept that the weather station is still there.
Yeah, but
So
Mark,
can you present that evidence, please?
You haven't provided anything for us to say, let's show Mark
So
this
can you
evidence.
present
He's
that
shown
evidence,
us we're on a
please?
spinning ball with curvature. You haven't shown
Now, hang
anything.
on.
We've been asking
Hang
you for
on,
the last 2-3
it goes
years for
back to the
something, Mark.
original point.
And then
We've been through
your
this
pal there
before. It's on the
soundly
website
shows us
that the
fake
buoy
curvature.
was destroyed.
So what are you going to show
Right,
us?
hang
That's
on.
what we're waiting for.
Hang on.
It's
The
on the
burden of proof
website
lies
that
with
you're
he who
citing that
asserts.
it was destroyed.
Mark asserts that it's been
Oh, dear,
destroyed.
look at that. So it's
Have
on
a
the
look at the
website
evidence.
that it says it's destroyed. So Ranty is lying then. Okay.
I
He
haven't
knew
seen
that
that.
though.
Find some
Yeah,
evidence.
all
I know
know
he
that.
knows
seen
that. I mean, Riley and Ranty are the biggest liars on YouTube.
For
So
real. You guys all believe him too all the time.
yeah,
It's
that's what's so funny about it. You call yourself truthers, and
Well,
you
right,
let
so have you
people
got any
lie to
evidence
you
of this then?
blatantly
It has
to
to
your
be shown.
face.
That's the whole
It's
point.
just
That's the whole point.
hilarious.
Of course
You want
they
to
don't.
Yeah, it's
show
evidence,
real
really.
They just
investigation.
irony
smear.
is
That's
Something
all.
that you
It
guys
is
never
quite
seem to
So,
shocking,
do.
Mark,
really.
you've made an
Yeah,
assertion.
Spurs,
you
show
not
us the
do
last time you
investigation,
investigated
which you
something,
never do.
Spurs. Spurs,
So
show us
until
your
you
last
investigate,
investigations.
yeah, you
We've
need
been
to do more
through this.
investigation.
We've been through this.
Yeah, we've done
We
some
have been through
investigation.
this.
Where's the
We've done
evidence?
some
You're acting as
investigation,
though it
Kmart.
never happened.
Where is the evidence, please?
On the
It's
website.
all there from when we went through it before.
Yes.
Right.
Well,
So
show us
produce
it
it.
again.
Show
Hunt
us.
it
Come on.
all down again because you want to dig it up.
No, just show us the evidence it's been destroyed because it appears by his own
Already
evidence
did.
that it's not.
You show me some evidence that it's posting data since it was destroyed.
Soundly's own evidence shows that it's posting data.
No,
It's a lie.
What?
Stop
Why
lying.
would Soundly show weather station data?
Well, it shows that it's still there
Yeah.
and
No,
active.
it doesn't.
No.
Stop lying. Why do you
You
have to
take-
lie?
No.
If you've got evidence, present it. Don't lie.
Well, if a
real.
Why
website
do you
has
have
been
to
kept
lie?
up to date by a webmaster, that doesn't necessarily mean the weather data's up to date.
Right. We're
If it's a
asking for
weather
the evidence
station,
that's been
surely
destroyed.
you can find
Because
the
if
data
it's been
from the weather
destroyed,
station.
the lights that Soundly shows in his own evidence wouldn't be emitting light if it had been destroyed. So where's
Well,
the
it would
evidence that
be
it's
if
been
it was
destroyed,
something
please?
else, though, wouldn't it?
Which is, Mark, what is that something else?
I don't know. I'm not. I
You
don't
don't
live
know.
there.
That's
Soundly
the
does.
point. That's the problem with the borders. They don't
So-
know much. They don't
So
do
you
much
say, so
investigating.
you're saying then a weather station that was destroyed in 2012 is still emitting light, is it?
Where
It's
So
is
what
by
is
his
the
own
light then,
evidence.
Mark? That's the question we're
Mark,
asking. you.
do you agree that his own evidence is showing two lights coming from that area? Do you not agree that?
Yes, I
I
agree
mean, if
that
it's sticking
there
out
are
of the water,
lights.
it would still have to warn other people. It would
Right,
still have to
so
warn
let's-
people that there is something here. Don't run into it with a boat.
Yeah.
Right. So let's see the evidence that it's been destroyed. That's what we're asking for.
Is this really relevant? Does it matter if it's
Aye,
a weather
because if
station
it-
or if it's just a light?
If it hasn't
I
been
mean-
destroyed, it means it's still there, and he's evidencing that it's flat.
What? That's
The
non
weather
sequitur.
station is
That's
only
the-
13
that's
meters
the
above
worst
sea
non
level.
sequitur to
See
date.
what I mean?
The
though? These
distance
so
is 20
childish
miles away.
arguments.
It should be beyond
I mean,
the
and
curve.
then
If
if
he's
you've got
if he's
an adult
finding curve in
argument
the
that we can
pylons,
actually
he shouldn't be
debate
seeing the
over.
weather station. That's the point.
Just do some screen sharing.
What,
Ranty.
what's the point?
Very simple.
Sorry, Ranty, do you just want to repeat it again? Because everyone's gone silent. You nearly got it all through. I heard it, and it was very good.
Okay, well the point is that if in hang on, let me share. Would it be easier if I shared my screen?
So we say, all right then, I'll give you it.
Just
for
explain it
weather
verbally. You
station.
said it very
We've seen the
concisely.
whole weather station,
Just give him it.
Okay. Well, basically, if he's capturing curve on the pylons, but he's actually also evidencing the weather station, which is a further 6 miles further down the line, then that should be beyond the curve. If we believe that the pylons are curving, then we shouldn't be seeing the weather station. But if we're seeing the weather station, then what we're actually seeing is just an optical distortion with the and
It's a
whatever's
fair shout.
going on there. Whatever's going on there.
How high is the weather station up? How high up is it?
13 meters to the top. 13 meters. That's 40 feet.
Are we seeing?
roughly.
Are we seeing all the weather station, Ranty?
Well,
we're
you're
seeing
seeing,
two
you're
lights
seeing
here.
the two lights. You're seeing the top,
Are
the
we seeing
middle,
all
and
of
you're
it?
also seeing a gap between the
Are
bottom.
we seeing
Which
all
is
of
quite
it?
impressive
Should we
given
see
it's
all
supposed
of
to be
it? Should we see
destroyed.
any of it? That's the question.
Well, we should see all of it if the
No,
Earth's
no,
spinning.
no, no,
we see
Mark.
any
You
of
do
it,
this. You did
Mark?
this
How
last
much of
time,
it should
Mark.
we
We
see?
get this a lot from people who don't seem to understand the problem. It really frustrates me. So they say, "Well, can we see all of it, like you've just done?" Well, no. He's just explained to you that we shouldn't see any of it, and now you're asking if we can see to the bottom, like
Well, surely
Lou
if
and
the Earth's
Catter.
flat-
well,
And
Mark,
basically,
one point, should we
Mark,
see
by
any of
asking
that
that question,
light?
Mark, you
Well,
are
reflection could
demonstrating.
account for
Hold
it.
on,
No,
Spurs.
Genevieve, that's
Hold on,
reflection
Spurs.
could
Let me just
account
tell
for it.
Mark. I want to berate
How
Mark.
much shouldn't we
You
see?
are
That's the question,
demonstrating,
Mark.
Mark, that you do not understand the problem. You are representative of the
Yes, I do
slower
understand the
people
problem,
amongst this group
I do
because you
understand
don't
the problem,
understand the problem. You are just
It's
a bit
not a
slow.
hologram, Nathan.
You're just a
It's
bit
not a
slow,
hologram.
and every time you do it, you're demonstrating to the audience, the ones who do get it, how slow you are. You should be embarrassed with yourself.
Well, I'm slow, so we don't see the whole tower. We don't see the whole tower, Nathan. And your explanation is that I don't get it.
Yes,
Well,
we
I'm
shouldn't see
representing-
any
Why don't
of
we
the
see
tower,
whole
Mark.
then, Nathan?
We shouldn't see any of
So
it.
why don't we see the whole tower, Nathan?
Well, Mark, I've just explained to you that we shouldn't see any of it, and you're asking me why
So
we
why
can't see
don't
some
we
of it.
see
That
the
makes
whole
no
tower?
sense.
There may be other factors.
Hold on, you
Right,
see,
Nathan.
maybe Chris gets it. Maybe Chris is going to give us a hologram explanation or something along those lines.
Here he
And-
goes with a
It's not hard. I mean,
No, I agree. I
Nathan.
think we can just see
Why
these
don't
things,
we
Chris.
have
I don't think we see
Nathan, can you
holograms.
just-
I don't think we
can
see
you put
mirages. I don't think these things are looming. There are instances in these photographs.
No, I mean, it is a thing.
Yeah,
No, I
Yeah, but it's
understand these
negligible.
things
This is why you
exist.
continue with the hologram straw man.
It's not my straw man, it's yours curved. You're saying
no,
that
it's
what we
yours.
don't
We
see.
do
No,
not
no, no, no,
claim
no,
it's a
no.
hologram.
I'll
You
give an
claim
example.
it's a
I've been bored
hologram,
into this. I don't
Nathan.
mind.
You
Not
understand
at
that,
all.
right?
No problem. If you want to tell me that the picture that we see from the of the Isle of Man curved is behind a 1,000-foot wall of curvature, then we do not.
I'm not
Let
an
me speak,
atmospheric
Mark.
scientist, mate.
You're just going to laugh over me, Mark. Seriously. It's the first time I've joined this conversation.
I can't help it when you keep saying stupid things.
Mark, you're too slow to get it, so you don't have a horse in this race, my friend. Right?
But
If
Nathan,
we are looking at the Isle of Man with all of it there, and yet, Mark, don't troll me. I'm trying to explain to the audience. You're too slow to get it. Eventually, you might be like Lou. You might need 8 explanations to actually get it while you laugh. Right. Anyway, if we are looking at the entirety of the Isle of Man, all the way down to the
Which we are.
shoreline where it meets the land,
Which we're not.
then if we are on a ball, we must
Which we're
be
not.
looking at a projection of that land because it is obscured by a 1,000-foot wall of earth curve. Therefore, we do not have line of sight with the bottom half of that island. Therefore, it's a projection of that land. We do not have line of sight with it. In the same way as don't laugh, Mark. You don't understand. You're too stupid
Why
to get
a
this.
projection?
As
Why a
Ranty has
projection?
just explained with the weather station, we do not have line of sight with any of the weather station, Mark. You can laugh all
Why
you
a
like, you're just
projection?
demonstrating your stupidity.
Oh, mate, you're so funny, Nathan.
You're just stupid.
Come on, Mark, you're being
Ignorant and
disrespectful.
stupid, you don't get the problem.
Projection?
You're like
It's not
Lou,
hologram.
Alex, and a few others who are too slow to get it.
Why are you calling it a
God, man.
projection?
Nathan, could you present the Skype screen so that Ranty can show what he's got on screen?
I know what you're talking about,
Give me
or
a minute.
why can we see any of it and all that, but, you know...
Oh, here we go. Let's hear Chris's explanation because he obviously, or maybe, gets
I
it.
can't make pronouncements in things that I know nothing about, or things I'm
Yeah,
not
we should
sure
bring
on.
soundly on.
Okay, well, let's have Chris against this then, right? Chris, do you understand, you're a heliocentric believer, that there is a 1,000-foot wall? Obviously, it's varied, but I'm just giving an average 1,000-foot wall blocking our line of sight with the Isle of Man. Do you understand that to be the case? Yes or no?
No, I don't.
So you understand that we live. Hold on. So you understand in that case that we live on a flat plane. If we do have line of sight with the Isle of Man, we live on a flat plane.
No.
Yeah, but you don't
We're
know.
objecting to the 1,000.
Curved. I'll come to you later. Let's just have one at a time. Chris, if we have line of sight with the Isle of Man, we live on a flat plane. If
I
we
need to know
do,
the elevation. I need to know the atmospheric conditions, and I don't know enough about it to.
okay,
make
I'll
any
tell you
judgments
again.
on it.
I'll tell you. It's really simple. We see all of it from 35 feet at the beach to all of
No,
it.
you don't.
don't
and
see
it's
the
not
beach. You don't
35
see the
feet.
beach.
Don't lie,
Yeah, we do.
Nathan.
We see
Stop
the
lying.
we
Yeah, we
see
do.
the line
We see
where
all
the
of it.
water
Stop
meets the
lying,
land.
Nathan.
We can't see the sand. We're behind the water, you idiots. But we see the
Now,
point where the
Nathan-
water meets
now,
the land. We see
Nathan
it.
thinks lying's acceptable.
But
Well done, Nathan.
why wouldn't you be able to see the sand if you've got some elevation?
We're behind the water.
On a flat?
Why would
Behind
that
what
be a
water
problem?
on flat? You're claiming it's flat. What water is it behind if it's flat?
The
The
water
way
that's
it's
in
Water's
front of
always
us.
flat and level.
Yeah,
always
Okay.
stays level.
Flat.
This is very simple. There is a town and a lighthouse that on the heliocentric model are obscured by a wall of Earth curve. Therefore, in the heliocentric model, we do not have line of sight with the town or the lighthouse. Now, that is a fact in the heliocentric model. There is, in the heliocentric model, a wall of Earth curve blocking our view. Therefore, if we do not have line of sight,
Heliocentric
in
model.
your model, it must be a projection of something we cannot see.
No,
I
not a
don't know
projection.
if it's that.
Not a projection, and we also have refraction in our model.
Right,
that
so
goes
here we go.
down.
Curved's now going to admit it's a bloody hologram. Curved is now going to admit it's a hologram.
That is not a hologram, Nathan.
You can call it whatever you like.
Stop that.
I'm calling it a hologram because it's nonsense.
Yeah,
We have
cool,
line of
sure.
sight.
Well, that
We
is
can
wrong.
see it
That's
curved. You can
That
call it whatever
is
the hell you
wrong.
like.
We all know
I'll
that.
call your
That is
fantasy a hologram. Your fantasy
That
that we
is
have
a
a wall of
ridiculous
Earth curve in the way is
misrepresentation
nonsense. That's why I'm calling it a hologram. I'll call it what I like.
is
It's a
not a
fantasy
hologram.
from
Well,
heliocentric
it's always
We
fantasies.
never call it a hologram.
It's a fantasy. We have line of sight curve. We see it. There's no wall of
have line
Earth
of
blocking
sight,
our
then
view. We
the-
can see
Yeah,
it.
where's the
If
beach,
you want to
mate?
claim that
Don't
we
put it down
can't,
to the beach.
if you want to
Where's the
claim we
beach?
can't
Don't
see
put
it,
it down to the
as
beach.
must be the case in the heliocentric model,
Where's the beach,
then
mate?
it must be
Don't
a
say what you
projection.
should see
Because that's
if
what
it's
your
flat.
model
Nathan.
dictates it must be. It must
Nathan,
be a
how long
hologram
does it
if
feel
you're on a
way up the
globe.
Isle of Man to
I
the
don't
island
think
then?
it's a
Where's the Isle of
hologram.
Man
I
gone?
think we can just see it. Obviously, I believe the evidence
We
of my
don't-
own eyes.
we don't claim
see
it's
it
a
because
hologram.
it's there.
Stop claiming
It's
it's a
not a
hologram.
hologram. I agree,
I recall
Curved.
something about
It's not looming. It's not a projection.
yeah.
It's not a mirage.
know-
I
Just
recall something
see it.
about
So, man, Nathan's triggered bad, man.
certain
No,
atmospheric
you
conditions
trigger me,
that
Mark,
would
because you're a
actually allow you to
moron.
see
Because you
right
don't
around
get
the
it.
Earth.
You, Lou, and Alex all annoy me because you're all idiots.
Nathan's triggered
Too
bad.
slow
Like
to
you're
understand
not
the
annoying,
problem.
Nathan, please.
So yeah, Mark's too slow to understand this problem. You get it, Curved, and you're an apologist and a fantasist, and you want to call it
no
looming.
apologist, I'm no
You want to call it a mirage. You want to call it a hologram. Well, you're not going to, because we see it.
You're a triggered accuser.
You can say I'm triggered all you like. Doesn't
You are
change the
triggered.
fact
You
that
are.
there is no
You
1,000-foot
are
earth
triggered, though.
You're
wall
like me calling
blocking
out
our
the
view.
straw man.
It's not a straw man, it's a fact. We see it.
It is a straw man.
We see it.
We do
Paul
not
went
call
into
it a
great
hologram.
detail
Your
about this.
characterization of a hologram is a straw man, Nathan.
No, it isn't. You can call it whatever
It
you
is
like,
a straw
Curved.
man,
Do
by
you want to call it
definition.
looming, Curved? Would that make you feel better if you call it looming?
Fine by me.
Right, you can
Looming
call it
is
whatever you
not
like,
a
mate.
hologram.
We don't
So
have a
looming's a
projection
thing.
of
A
the land
hologram.
behind a
Fraction's a
1,000-foot
thing.
wall of
You
Earth
call it a
curve. We just
hologram,
see it.
tactically,
We
but
do have
know
line of
stuff.
sight with that land curved. We do
No,
have
you
line of
don't.
sight.
You don't have
We
line of
can
sight to
see
where
it.
the water
You're
meets the
just a
beach.
fantasist.
No,
If
you
it's
don't.
You
flat,
think you see
should.
things looming.
Nathan, why have
You
you got to
think
lie,
you see
Nathan?
things looming because you must.
Nathan, why
Because
do you
in
think
your
lies
model
is
there
acceptable?
must be a wall of Earth curve in our
I
way,
don't- I can't
and there
say
isn't.
that.
Riley himself
Specifically.
demonstrated that he's higher than 35 feet. Yet
Oh,
he's
here we
only
go.
a
So now we're
35
not
foot
calling it a
figure.
mirage. We're saying he's lying about the height. More crap
bring up that
answers for
point
why
of-
we see it. We have
Well,
line
yeah,
of
but he
sight.
went to say
It's
are
not a
above
hologram.
the
It's not a
water.
hologram, is
You're
it,
above
Curved?
the water.
It's not a
That is
hologram.
relevant.
It's not a
Didn't we
hologram.
have
We can
this?
see
Didn't we
it.
go into this before?
You're well above the water. That is a relevant point.
We see it. We shouldn't see it. There should be a 1,000-foot wall of Earth
You
curve in
don't
our way,
see
and in
it.
your
Yeah.
model there
You
is.
see.
In your model
Refraction
there
is
is
for what we
a
see.
1,000-foot
You say we
blocking
should
our
not.
view.
Right.
That's
It
what
is
happens in
not
your
about
model.
feet. Why are you exaggerating?
See, some people in the chat don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I get it. Neither does Mark. Mark doesn't know what we're talking about.
There's Paul.
Neither does Alex. Neither does Lou. These people are all
Now, I
too
came
slow.
on, Nathan, I found your channel and I came on, and I didn't know what you guys were talking about. But I know what you're talking about. I've not seen the picture in question actually. I've not seen all the conditions, and I've not seen the elevations and whatnot.
Well, it's a
But I
really
do know
basic
that Paul
picture.
and
It's
the
a
Rumpus
picture of
went
all of the
into
Isle of Man. We've got a
great detail
town
about
and a
it.
lighthouse visible that shouldn't be because there's an earth wall curve blocking our view in
Why
your
do you
model.
keep saying we can see all of it? Then you're making excuses for why we can't see the bottom.
Right, we shouldn't be able to see the lighthouse. We shouldn't be able to see the town. We shouldn't be able to see
Which
the bottom
is
half of
actually
the
all that
island. We shouldn't be able to see it, and we do. That's the bottom line.
We
still don't even know
We are
what the map
triangulating
makes
the
it
island
possible.
with things that should be blocked by a wall of earth
You haven't
curved.
triangulated a thing.
Yeah, what are you going to gish gallop with now, curved? You're going to
So
tell me
how
it's a
far
hologram?
can
You're
we
going to
see
tell me
the
it's
island
looming?
there?
Tell me it's a mirage
How
again,
can
so I
we
can
see
laugh
the
at you and
island
call you a
there, man,
fantasist
but
again.
We can't see the Isle of Man.
I quite enjoy calling Curved a fantasist because he is,
If we've
along
got
with
the-
all the
if
rest of
we've
the
got
people
line
who
of sight,
believe,
Nathan, how come we
there's a
see the
1,000-foot
island
wall
without the
blocking
Isle
our
of Man?
view of that island. There's no
No, I
1,000-foot
don't.
wall.
No, I don't.
Why
That
can't we
figure
see all
is
of Ireland, Nathan?
exaggerated. That
Why
figure
can't we
is
see
ridiculous.
all of Ireland?
Exaggerated.
Because it's too far and there's refraction getting in the way.
Oh,
And,
refraction's
moisture
a thing
in the
now, is it?
atmosphere.
Moisture in the atmosphere,
pollution,
exactly.
You don't even know what refraction is.
Refraction's a thing now. Oh, that's
So let me
fun.
just ask
That's
Paul this
hilarious.
question, Paul. See if he knows and understands completely. Do we
No, I
have
wanna
lo-
ask you a
Hold
question.
on,
No, I
Paul.
wanna ask
I want to
a
ask you a quick
question,
question.
I
Paul,
wanna
do
ask
we
you
have
why the people
do
with
we
Nathan's
have
back-
do we have line of sight with the lighthouse? Yes or no?
We have line of sight because of refraction, Nathan.
Line of sight means straight. So what you're saying
No,
is
it
no,
does
we don't
not.
have line of sight.
No, it does not.
Line of sight
There is
means
no
straight.
requirement for
Negligible.
line of sight to be
Give me
straight,
2 minutes.
Nathan.
I'll just Wikipedia it like everyone else does and bring it
No,
up on
it's not
Negligible,
Wikipedia.
guys. Let's not forget what refraction is. It's negligible. It's not worth talking about.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah. So why
it's-
did
it's
why
a
By
did
your
thing,
own
you
science,
keep
don't
it's
mentioning
not
understand
it?
worth
it.
If it was
Riley.
negligible, then it wouldn't be a thing.
For something that's
Well,
not
it
worth
is
talking about a
negligible
lot,
by
you
your
should
own
talk about
science,
it a lot.
gentlemen. It's not
It's
worth
so
talking
negligible
about.
that every
Nathan's just
surveyor has
used
to
it.
take it into account, hey?
It's
Nathan
negligible.
just
It's
used
not worth
refraction,
talking about.
Riley, so it's okay for him to use it, is it?
Mick West, no, it's not okay for him to use it. He's a
Oh,
fraud.
so why weren't you saying to Nathan then? Why didn't you pull Nathan up about it?
Nathan
Well,
just
Nathan,
cited
what I agree
refraction.
with
Yeah,
Nathan.
Nathan just said it's refraction. That's why we're seeing the lighthouse. So can you?
Oh, I thought
can
you said
correct
Mick
Nathan
West.
then,
Sorry.
please, Riley?
I thought you said Mick West. I
No,
didn't know you said
Nathan just
Nathan.
said
Don't
refraction.
think,
So can
Riley.
you
Don't
correct
think. That
Nathan
gets
then?
you into trouble.
Right, so can we go back to the evidence for
So you're
Pontchartrain
not
weather
going to
station
correct
being
Nathan
destroyed?
then? Right, Riley. Okay, so refraction is a thing then.
It is a thing, but it's negligible. It's not
Oh.
worth talking about.
Oh, so what? It is a thing, but it's negligible. Okay,
It's
right,
negligible.
okay.
Wouldn't be a
By your
thing
own
then.
science, it's negligible.
makes
It's
a
not
lot- that
worth
makes a
talking
lot
You
of
about.
wouldn't
sense,
take it.
Riley.
You wouldn't take something negligible into account.
It's not worth
Let me
calculating for. It's not
see.
worth
It's
talking
I'm
about.
sharing a
negligible.
screen. I'm sharing a screen. Refraction over ice and water. Let me
Paul, have
see
you got any
here what
evidence
it
of molten
says.
iron creating its own
These are
charge yet?
measurements that have been taken by people, and it says, Kabashi 2003 obtained refraction coefficients from +1 to +18 from reciprocal vertical angles for a line of sight about 5 meters over water.
Yeah, but it's still negligible though.
What plus,
That's
plus
negligible.
18 is negligible, is it, Riley?
Wow.
Is a
It's
refraction
negligible by
coefficient of
Mick
plus 18
West's own
negligible?
evidence himself.
Hold on, let's
And
let him
anyway,
have this.
Anthony, do
we're
you know
still
what that
waiting for
means?
evidence
Paul,
from you
Because I
about
don't.
molten iron
Can you
being
show
able
us some
to
say I
create
examples?
its
don't know
own
what that
current.
means.
And we're waiting for evidence from Mark that the weather station's been destroyed.
Anthony, can you
But
say
where's
that
the
you don't know
evidence
what
for
a
anything?
refraction coefficient of it plus 18 is? Can you say you do know what it is?
Riley can say anything.
Is that aimed at me?
Riley can
yeah,
say 2
Anthony.
plus 2
Can
equals
you
0.
say you know what that means? Do you know what a refraction coefficient of plus 18 means?
Do I know what it means? In context,
Yeah.
it means it's right. I can't share my screen, so I'm not able to really answer that.
Well,
with
I can
evidence
say
to the thing,
I
but
don't know what it
Paul,
means.
Paul, would you mind putting that link in the general chat? Oh, I don't know actually.
Well,
I need to get the link.
why is it
Paul,
so
'cause I'd like to
difficult
read
for
it.
you to admit to something so trivial as that you don't know
I'd
something?
like to read it before committing to anything. So can I get the link to Nathan?
Why do you
and
have
then
to
Nathan
read
can
it
have
to
that.
answer the question? You know what plus 18 is or not?
I know what it is, but I want to read the whole paper
Well,
because I
can
don't
you
like to
tell
read.
me
I
what
don't
it
like
is?
to
What
cherry
is it,
pick.
Riley?
So
What is
let's
it
get
then?
let's get the link and let me
Said
read
you
what
know
it
what
says,
it
and then
is.
I'll come back to you. That's the first
Oh,
thing.
you
to
have
do.
to say
what
you
is-
don't know what it is. If you have to come back to us, then you don't. Why can't you say I don't know, Anthony? What's the problem?
Oh no,
Said
I
he
know what the
does know.
refraction coefficient is. I'd like to read the context in which the paper's been written before I
You
comment.
do know
okay?
what it is. You do know what a refraction coefficient of +1 to +18 means, or you don't?
I do. I do know what the refraction coefficient of +1
Can
to
you tell me,
+18
please?
means.
Because I don't know
However,
what it is.
in the context in this paper's been written in, I would like to
In
read
the context of
He's clueless. He hasn't got
I
a
don't
clue.
even know, Riley. Help me out here. Come on.
These are real life
There you
measurements
go.
of refraction coefficients, Riley.
So if I show
So
you
what?
real
I'd
life
like to- the only thing
measurements,
he knows is
Paul,
+8
if I
on
show
his
you,
waist size.
Paul, real life measurements of how it's possible to get a car to go 300 miles an hour, and then I bring up a picture of a car and tell you that that's the car that can go 300 miles an hour, does that prove that that is the car that can go 300 miles an hour just because I proved
No,
it with
but
the maths?
Riley is saying that the car can't go 300 miles per hour. That's the
Riley's
point.
saying I'd like
That's
to
what
see
I'm
the car.
saying. I'm saying in the
Riley is
images that
saying
we
the car
have,
can't go
we need to
300
see
miles per
visual
hour.
evidence of these things that you're talking about, and you're just showing us how
Riley
the
is-
maths works to make it work on paper. Now, in the case of
I'm not
the
showing
Isle of
that
Man
at all.
photo,
I'm actually going to share.
I'm
the
asserting
actual
that I would like to
You
see
can read it, Nathan, if you
visual.
want to.
I would like to see
Or analogy.
visual comparisons to see this refraction that they're measuring and then compare it to the Isle of Man. So if you can say this is the image they took and here's the refraction they measured and you can demonstrate it visually, we can then make a visual comparison with the Isle of Man and see if they're comparable. But so far, every time we ask you for the evidence, you take us to the maths rather than going to the
No,
photo
every
and
time you
showing
ask
us
me for the
where the
evidence, you
refraction
talk over the top of
begins
me.
and where
you
the
don't let me
refraction
see
ends.
the
You won't let
evidence.
me get to the end of my point,
Like
Paul.
you're doing now.
I want the evidence to be demonstrated in the
Nathan,
photography.
zip it.
Hold on, Grim. I'll get to you in a
Introduce me
second.
to the panel.
I want the evidence to be shown in the photography. I want to be shown where the refraction begins and where it ends.
Horrible.
Where the true line of sight begins, where we do have line of sight, and where that ends. But what we get is maths. We don't get shown on the evidence where this refraction and looming and holograms and mirages, we don't get to see that in the picture. We just get told how
we
it
would
works.
need the barometric pressure and the air.
You're doing it now. I want to see it in the image. One of you bring up the image of the Isle of Man and show me where this refraction is evidenced.
And the other thing is, in addition to that, the minute they start talking about pressure, whoever it was that said pressure, then you're not even applying the standard refraction maths, because the standard refraction maths does not take into account pressure,
What is the
density,
standard
or
refraction
viscosity,
maths?
or anything like that.
Riley, it does so.
That's
No, it doesn't. It simply
Anthony,
does
can you tell me what
76
I don't know what the standard refraction maths are. I'm not being facetious here. Can you tell me? I honestly don't know.
The standard
I'm gonna
refraction,
call
standard
Riley
refraction
out
maths
as an
is
absolute
an arc
liar on that.
calculation, a
He's read it
geometric
over and
calculation
over and
based
over
on
again.
I am
7/6
not-
of the
I'm not-
radius of the Earth.
Riley,
and it
I
continuously
really
bends
don't
down.
know. Can you tell me, please, Anthony?
Riley
He's
knows
trying
why.
to,
I'm
but
talking,
curved
then you
water
listen.
just can't help trolling him as he tries to
I
explain
suppose
it.
I am being a little bit facetious because I know that you don't know, Anthony.
I'm
is
trying to
lying.
answer it, but I keep getting spoke over, my mate. The standard
All right.
refraction, according to the Metabunk website, is a geometric calculation, in other words, an arc, based on 7/6 of the radius of the apparent Earth curvature, the apparent Earth radius. Now,
I can look
apparent is used.
articles
Apparent is
too.
used by Mick West himself. He actually uses the word apparent Earth radius, and that's why I'm citing it too. But it's a continuous arc going down. So when you guys start talking about pressure and temperature and viscosity of the air, they're all relevant factors, but they're not calculated in the standard refraction maths.
And perhaps if
So
you
the-
read the paper a bit further, Riley, you would realise where that 7/6 on R comes from. It comes from
from
the
an apparent
refraction
radius.
coefficient calculation.
All comes from an apparent
I bet that
radius. Would you
stings,
like
huh,
to
Riley?
bring it up so
Burns
we
right
can
in your
read it?
butthole. That
He
burns.
doesn't
Paul,
even
would you
know
like to
that
bring
he's
it up so
wrong.
we can read it?
Yeah,
Your
he's so
butt's
stupid he
not
doesn't
burning
even
right
know
now?
how stupid he is.
Bring it up,
Wait, your
Paul.
butt's
And in
not
the
burning?
meantime, while Paul's bringing that up, Mark, if you could get us the evidence for the weather station being destroyed, I'd appreciate it.
Well, no, it's your
Paul,
claim. It's your
we're still
claim.
waiting
The
for
weather
evidence
station's
from
there,
molten
Riley,
iron in
so
your
it's
case,
your-
showing that it
it's
can
your
create
job.
its own
As
charge.
As you corrected Ali B earlier, the person making the claim has to support evidence. So, can you present the evidence? I asked for the weather data
You're the
for
one that said it was destroyed
2016
by
at that location.
fire or whatever.
So, can you present the evidence, please?
Can I present the evidence of what, Mark?
Yeah,
Well,
I'll accept your
the
evidence.
weather data for 2016 from the weather station, you say it's
You're
still
the
there.
one that said it's destroyed. So we're asking you to prove that for that
Well,
statement
no,
to be
your
true.
claim is it's there, Riley. So, as you said to Ali B earlier, the person making the claim has to support
Yeah, you've
the
made the
evidence.
claim it's been
So-
destroyed, and Ranty's shown
So
on
can
two,
you
pi-
present
on
the
two
evidence
pieces
then,
of evidence
Riley?
that it appears to still be there.
So you can't present the evidence. Okay. So
Appears
just so
to still
everyone's
be there.
Ranty's
clear.
done it
That's
What?
absolute
Mark.
resounding no.
So just
No,
so
no,
everyone's
Mark,
clear,
Mark,
the person
Ranty's
making the
produced
claim
two
can't
pieces of
support the
evidence that
evidence, so we
indicates
can
it's still
drop that
there.
now.
I
Then.
think
So
someone needs to
you're the
take
one that
Cali for
asserts that
real,
it's
like
not.
a scoreboard
So
right
can
on the
we see
chart
the
on the
evidence
top
that it's
there,
not?
so we can just see how many times Riley's butt got spanked today.
We've got a new guest who was alleged to have a father who was an astronaut.
Nathan,
Is that
your
right?
butt's all red too, and I'd be quiet.
What?
If
We do?
Hi, Grim. Sorry to interrupt you. We've got M. Scott here.
Hi, Grim, to the show.
Sorry, Grim. We've got M. Scott here. How are you doing, M. Scott?
I'm doing good. How are you guys
Let's
doing?
go.
Hello.
So you apparently have got a father who's an astronaut. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was a shuttle astronaut.
Shuttle astronaut. Cool. Tell us all about it.
Not much to tell. It's he went up in 90 and 92. The only thing that I have to say that's of interest is that I had plenty of opportunities to see if it was a lie, and like the amount of lying they would have to be doing like for 20 years at like 2 a.m. at the end of a party when it's just the astronauts, and I'm a kid and I can kind of hear from my room, like they're telling stories about what they're doing. They'd have to be making that stuff up nonstop.
Yeah, they are doing, mate.
That's
pretty much what we're asserting. Yeah.
I like hearing that.
Yeah, we're pretty much asserting that exact thing, that they're pretty much lying non-stop. That's exactly what we're asserting.
All right, so
parties together.
Obviously, Nathan, you're missing the elegance of that conveyance there. Again. Yeah.
Oh no, it's very elegant. We saw the elegance in it, but we're calling bullshit. It's that simple.
My uncle told me a story, Grim. My uncle told me a story. He's a pastor, and he told me about when he met an astronaut. This is obviously third hand, but I'll repeat it anyway. He told me they met this astronaut, and he went up and he was on the moon. I can't remember which astronaut. I'll find out from him next time I speak to him, and I'll add that to the story. But this astronaut told him that the shuttle didn't work, and they thought they were going to be not the shuttle, the LEM, the bit that lands, the lander module, didn't work. They couldn't get it to fire. So he got back out of the module, went underneath and prayed to God. And when he got on his knees, he noticed that there was a valve that had come loose. He refastened it, got back in, and then they launched. That was the story he told my uncle.
Okay, and you think that's a better story than Scott being the actual son of astronauts who party and talk together at 2 a.m, still talking about how they're astronauts and how it's all real, even when nobody's watching?
No, it just sounds like lies.
That's a better story.
It just sounds
than
like
that.
lies to me, Grim. It just sounds like lies. He's telling somebody a story about getting back out of the module, getting on his knees and praying to God.
That sounds like an anecdote to me, though.
And then finding that there's a valve loose. And then that's
Scott's
the thing.
Story, or is that your story?
It's a third-hand story. I'm not going to lie that it's third-hand, but this is a story. I've got it documented. I've got it documented from him. It was
second-hand story.
The first interview I did ever, probably nearly 3 years ago, was with my uncle, who's a pastor. And at the time, I was all for the Christian elements of the flat Earth. It was like a revival in my Christian understanding. So I went straight to my uncle and said, "Do you understand your Bible's a flat Earth book?" And he told me all about how the Earth was a globe, and one of his examples was meeting an astronaut, and that was the story he told me. It's there, you can see it. It's my first interview, it's published, but he tells that story.
Cool. So people have been trying to tell you for this long that the Earth is round, and you still don't
I hear
get
that
it?
story and hear nonsense.
Nathan, what a boring story.
Yeah, very boring, but it sounds like lies. Just sounds like lies.
It's a creepypasta.
Creepypasta, I love it. But yeah, it just sounds like a bullshit story. That's the bottom line.
It does. Most times you hear stuff like that, you prayed to God, and then all of a sudden, amazing, it could be.
Yeah. What they didn't say is that he, found what was wrong, fixed it, and then they left.
Yeah, that's
so
what he said.
Can I just add to the
one guy gets out, he walks out, does a job that's not even his, turns a crank on a valve on something that has nothing to do with his job, and then now he's an astronaut again, goes back in, and
yeah, that's exactly what the story was. The shuttle, the ship didn't work. The craft couldn't get him off the moon. They didn't know what to do, so they got on their knees and prayed, or he did. And in doing so, he found the problem. That's his story. That's the astronaut who went to the moon. I'll get the name of him off my uncle.
So unless Mark Taylor can produce evidence that the weather vane thing is damaged or destroyed, we're going to take it based on Soundly's evidence that it's still there, and Soundly proves the Earth is flat.
No, you're wrong again.
Riley, you're not
Just
really
produce the evidence
embarrassed. Are
that's
you like
missing
just a character doing this for fun? Is this you're either that? I mean, I don't understand. Like, either that or
he's a troubled soul.
I don't want to be too rude.
And this is from Mr. Grimm.
Dense.
I'll
You gotta
invite
be
family
almost.
on.
You gotta be almost as
ask
dense
family
as
if you
near
want.
infinite density. You know what I mean? Like,
He failed at law school. He couldn't get into law school, so he comes on YouTube to try and put forward arguments.
Completed it, Mark. Boxed it off. Done.
Sorry guys to turn you down, but I am going to do a quick link, as this is now technically, or should be, the end of the show, as we've had a full 2 hours. However, we had approximately 20 minutes or so of technical issues, so I will run this stream a little bit longer. If you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. You'll have to excuse me, I'm very bunged up. And if more importantly than anything, if you'd like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you're currently listening to on mute, simply click that link to join the show and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected, and if you are, please do not try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. This is a Part B show, so it does have a new link. Please share that link, even if you have shared the link for the Part A show, as it does increase the live audience, which in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. I've unmuted myself in the Hangout just to let the guys know that we are over the 2 hours, but I will let this show run for a couple more minutes, maybe 20 more, as we had a technical issue, so feel free to continue. Sorry to interrupt you.
Thanks, Nathan. So I'd like Anthony to explain why these people have apparently got it wrong, why they've identified that land to the right there as the point of Ayr, which is actually part of the Isle of Man.
That's got a sting too.
What are you talking about? Which people?
It's called a spanking, Anthony.
Bear with me, Paul. Sorry, this is a
like a man.
Skype and Google thing. So if I share my screen on Skype, they should be able to see what you're now displaying. Bear with me just 30 seconds.
You're talking to a guy who thinks the moon is transparent.
There it is. Simple as that. What's on Paul's screen? I mean, Paul, there you have it.
No, I agree with that. But do you know where that picture's taken, Lee? That's been taken at the top of that hill, hasn't it? You've got that picture.
Yes, that is my picture.
Right, Paul, do you know where that picture's been taken from?
It's been taken from the top of the hill, yes.
Yeah,
but it
you might
still
wanna show
shows the point of Ayr
You might
to
want
the
to show
right
it.
of the
Paul,
Isle of
can you
Man
show where
there,
it's been taken, Paul?
where you're claiming that Ireland is.
Right.
Paul, can you
There's
show
no
where it's been
argument
taken,
there
please?
For you, Paul. I mean, Anthony.
Paul, can you show where it's been taken, please?
This is the land that you're claiming is Ireland.
To be a man,
They're
Anthony,
claiming that it's the point of Ayr.
Can you show where it's taken from? Is the
we
question,
can prove
Paul?
that it's not point of Ayr, but in any event, Paul,
That's what
do you
being a
know
man
where that
is,
picture's been
Anthony.
taken from? Yes or no?
Anthony can deny anything.
We're not getting an answer.
No. There's a difference. I'm not denying. I'm accepting. However, I'm asking Paul, does he know where the picture's been taken or not?
Yes.
Right. Can you tell me and show us where it's been taken?
Well, it tells you on the plaque there that it's been taken from
Show
a
it.
ruined brick building.
Right. Do you know where? Can you show it, please?
What?
You see what I
Do you
mean?
know-
Show me green
Shut
ice
up,
cream now.
Grim.
I mean,
Can you show
irrelevant.
where it is, please?
There
Paul?
is.
Because it's
That's
particularly
irrelevant.
relevant to what you're showing on screen. So if you don't know where it is, just say, and I'll fill the
Venereal.
audience until they do know.
Wait, doesn't that plaque say you're at 260 feet height?
Yeah.
So we
flat
should be
Earth
able
has
to
no
see,
ice cream.
we should be able to see
Paul?
more of Ireland because we're even higher now.
Right. So do you know where it was taken,
Yeah,
Paul, or
where-
not?
Why?
If you don't, I'll
It's
tell
irrelevant
you.
where it's taken from. It's taken from 30 miles away, the same distance
Right, but
that
listen,
St.
it
Bees
is relevant,
from
Paul,
the tip
because
of
it's
the Isle
taken
of
from
Man.
St. Bees Head. And do you know what the elevation is of that St. Bees Head, Paul?
What's that?
Why do we have to tell it? Why do we have to say the elevation and everything when you
Yeah,
went
I know.
4 days without
What
telling
flavor
us?
is your favorite ice cream? See, I'm conceding that you're right, but tell me, is it strawberry or chocolate?
So
doesn't
while
have any
Grim's
ice.
trolling, the question is, do you know the elevation of that head?
The image here is from a height of 80 meters, 260
And
feet.
And what would that then do to the elevation, to the site that you can see?
It means you'd see more of the Isle of Man.
Which is exactly
Wouldn't
what it shows. But when I'm at 35 feet, which is like a fraction of the 80 meters you've just cited, that means I'm still seeing consistent with that, Paul. So they've not got
Yeah,
it
but
wrong.
it
They've
doesn't
got
say
it right.
it's-
You've
it
just
doesn't
skewed your
say- it doesn't
interpretation.
say
I think
island,
it means
does
that
it?
I've got it wrong.
No.
It doesn't say they
Yes,
see
Paul, that's
island.
what it
I
means.
think,
Seems to
right?
be a bit of a moot point, Paul. Sorry.
Bit of a moot point. What, that they can't see Ireland? Or is it
No. Let me
identify
say it, because I don't
the
think
same
you all
people
good. Let me say it
land that
again.
Riley identified as Ireland, but they're
let me say it
identifying
again,
it
because I
as the
don't
point
think
of
you
Ayr.
heard what I said,
You
because
think
I
it's a
spoke
moot
over.
point?
I
Paul,
suppose it's a hologram, though.
just shut up a second.
Yeah.
Let me respond.
Yeah, that's probably a hologram.
Yeah, it's a hologram.
That photograph's taken at the
We
top
don't
of
understand. We don't
an elevation of 80 meters.
Trying to
I
identify
am
as
at 35 to 50 meters
feet. The point of air.
That's a fraction of the height
Riley,
that you were
who's
at,
been to
Paul.
St. Bees once
So
and
it's
took one
consistent
picture
with my
saying that he knows more
observation.
than people that
It's
lived
not
all their life.
inconsistent. You're just using it to misrepresent and try and create the perception that in some way I've done it wrong. But it supports my version of events, Paul. It supports the evidence.
Nothing
It
supports
doesn't
your
contrast
version of
it.
events, Riley, because you're a liar.
Any evidence of that,
Didn't
Mark?
give us any of the data we needed.
Any evidence of that,
Here's
please,
another
Mark?
picture. Here's another picture of the Isle of Man taken from St. Bees as well. You notice they don't say, "Oh, we can see Ireland here as well."
Oh, look at that! Look, exactly like what you presented. The land
You
mass
probably
there,
could.
Anthony.
You probably could. Where is
this?
this?
Okay, that's
Let's have
weird.
that. Let's have that.
And there's
Let's
no
have that link,
break
please,
in the
Paul.
land either, Riley. Why
I
is that?
see Pete Shea.
Yeah,
Let's have that. Let's have that link, please, Paul.
And it's funny how this photo looks exactly the same as what's on the plaque, doesn't it?
Count the hilltops.
I'd like to see that. Can you provide the link,
man.
And you can see that the land to the right, which
Can you
you're
have a link?
claiming
He's
is
asking
Ireland,
Paul
is
for a link.
actually the point of air,
Cool.
which is
How many
part of the
projectors
Isle
though?
of Man.
Paul,
How
do you have a
many
link?
projectors
to that?
there
Or
are
share
there,
it?
Nathan, all them
13, Mark.
holograms. They must have a lot of projectors.
Can you copy that link, Paul, so I can paste it into Skype, please? Thank you very much.
What?
And the other link as well, there, while you're there, Paul, if you would, for the other link, because I'm waiting for that one too.
What? The other link for what?
You brought up two links. One was the one that you've got on. I'm asking for the one that you've got on screen now with the beigey yellowy coloured background. I'd like that link, and I'd also like the other link where you gave the atmospheric refractive index variation up to, was it 17 or whatever? Then two links, please.
I've got that in the side chat already.
I know, but I can't see or get access to it.
And you want a link to this one too?
Yes, please,
Okay,
sir.
I'll put a link to this one in the side as well.
Let's do a lot of reading, Anthony.
Nathan, if you
Is
pass
it
them over to
possible?
us, I'd
Can
be
Nathan
grateful.
cut that and give it to you? Because it's in the group chat here.
Yeah, but I can't see or get access
doing
to
it
it,
as
so I'm
we
asking
speak.
Nathan if you pass
So
it
I
over.
asked, can Nathan cut that and give it to you?
I am.
And Riley and Ranty are sitting on
Get
Nathan's
the point,
knees, so
Riley?
they can't really see what's going on.
See, I understand that you can't see it, Riley. That's why I suggested that maybe Nathan could give it to you rather than you reply with you can't see it, which I already understand, which is the problem that I'm trying to resolve for you. So next time.
And in the meantime, I'd like to see the evidence from both Paul and from Mark. Mark, your evidence is that the thing's been destroyed. And Paul, your one is about the molten iron from a few weeks back. Molten iron creating
You
zero charge.
haven't presented evidence that suggests that the station's still there. When you do that, Riley, then I might.
Well, we have,
consider presenting
Mark, we've
the
shown it
evidence.
twice. Ranty showed that on the website, that's a government
No, he
website.
didn't.
It's been recently updated, did not say it was damaged. And he also showed it in Soundly's own evidence that it appears to still be there.
At that location, then, please, Anthony.
Why did you
You're
eat
the one
Nathan's
asserting it's been
ice cream
damaged.
and blame it on that?
Dude.
It's a weather
Waiting
station,
for
so
that.
it should have been recording weather, surely. So can you present the evidence for the 2016 weather data, please? If you do that, then I might consider presenting something.
You're the one that's asserting it's been destroyed, Mark. I'm
No,
asking
you're
for
the one that's
evidence.
asserting
Is
it,
that
Riley.
true?
You've already made that claim. So
For that
No.
island floating in the air, real quick, so we can tear that apart again.
until you present some evidence, I'm not even going to,
But
bother.
it's your so until you do produce the evidence,
We're gonna measure
it's
the
destroyed,
exact
but it's still there.
size of an island that's
Is that the
floating in
Earth's
the
flat?
air in a picture.
If
I
you
just
seriously
silly,
think
dude.
it's Ireland, why don't you go to the papers and announce your discovery?
Please
Oh,
do
Paul,
that.
I have done.
on
I'm
flat
going
earth
to the
buy
papers.
a paper.
So there's a
made such
reasonable
a
explanation
famous
after all. What
discovery.
a surprise.
I'll actually buy a paper from your local area if you do that. I'll buy
Go
10
publish it.
of them.
That's
Announce
why
it to
I
the
said
world.
I don't know. That's why I said I don't know. I can't. I don't know.
I think this warrants a BBC special for Riley.
Yeah, get it published, right? Come on. What's the matter with you? Publish it. Publish your findings.
I'm trying to publish.
It's-
Well,
it's
technically, by
telling that
definition, they are published
can't
once they
even-
go on the internet, are they not?
Get on the BBC. Come on, make it official. Tell the world.
Not
Riley.
published enough, apparently. You didn't get a reply to that. So the question
I'm
was,
trying
is it
to
not
get it
published
published. I've
already once it
contacted
goes
the
on the
local
internet?
Never got a
and,
reply to the vernal equinox either. Been waiting on that for
Vernal
what?
Equinox is the
no
answer to
one
that.
takes no notice.
So is it not
Videos
published?
on YouTube,
Is it not
mate.
published?
Come on, man.
Is it not
If you
published?
honestly think anyone serious is looking at this?
This gets
rubbish,
asked a
you've
lot
got
in
to
the
show
chat comments. That's
84
why I keep
debates,
repeating
I
it.
think
So is it
second-
published or not? Is
No.
the question.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it is Mark.
Yeah, it is Mark.
Just
It's
like how you've not
I love
published
how
evidence
Mark
that the weather
demonstrates how
thing's
slow
damaged.
he is consistently. It is
So
published, Mark.
you think that serious people are watching flat Earth videos?
What do you
and
think the
taking
word
you lot
published
seriously?
means,
That is
Mark?
just so
Mark, what do you
funny,
think
Nathan.
published means,
You
Mark?
really are deluded. Do you sniff
Do you
glue?
understand the
You
word
get the
published,
point, Nathan.
Mark?
Don't make it a semantical argument.
Not
about
semantical.
YouTube is published.
This
Oh my
is
God.
being broadcast live.
This Christmas is just getting
You don't get
better
it.
and better.
Mark, it's okay. It's yet another thing you don't understand.
Grind it down, mire down to semantics and publish.
I'm going to give you
And
some
then
minutes in there. YouTube review. Okay?
You'll laugh. Go laugh it up.
Take this to the media, Riley. Get it out there in the hands of
All right, let's just ask Curved again. He doesn't seem to get it as well. Get it out to the media. What do you think YouTube is? What do you think YouTube is, Curved? Curved, what do you think YouTube is? Do you think YouTube is not media?
This is not the BBC. Get it on your
So sorry,
media.
Curved, you haven't answered my question again. No, he says about semantical arguments and then he does this. So Curved, back to the same question. Is it or is it not published? Yes or no?
On your hangout, Nathan. On your
not in a
hangout.
peer-reviewed journal, no.
Yeah,
It's not
absolutely
published.
not.
I already told you,
It's
Nathan.
not published in the most loosest of terms, Nathan. So
Loosest
you're
of terms?
deluded. I'm sorry to.
So it's published in the loose term.
You have
Not
a
in a
meaningless
peer-reviewed
semantical
publishing or
victory,
peer-reviewed
Nathan.
journal or scientific.
Congratulations.
No, I haven't. It's a
Congratulations.
fact. You guys don't like it.
Congratulations.
This is being
YouTube's
broadcast live.
When we
This
use the word
is
published for citations,
published.
we're expecting it to be peer-reviewed publications.
Oh,
Not
so now we've changed it to peer-reviewed. Well, that's not the same as published now, is it? Publishing and peer-review are different things, Grim. Come on, Grim. They're very different things.
Newsworthy.
They don't say peer-reviewed and be damned, do they? They say publish and be damned. They say publish and be damned, not peer-review and be damned. They're very different things, Grim. Very different. Very different. Oh, so we're changing the term to peer-review, are we, Curved? Because you've been embarrassed by the word published. We're changing it to peer-reviewed.
Nathan, by
We need to equivocate in this.
this right now. Come on, man.
Yeah. I'm the guy publishing it, you morons. Of course I'm going to have this argument with you. I'm the one publishing it.
Your kids are going to see this, dude.
I'm sitting here publishing it as we speak. This is what this is.
Publishing it.
Yeah, but not this is
Let's hear Mark tell us how it's not being published as we speak.
Totally unbiased.
That's misleading,
Nathan,
dishonest,
could
Nathan.
you just show the
Oh,
picture I sent you in
Nathan
Skype
Oakley,
on screen and let them read
misleading
it?
and dishonest. You are trying to infer that it is in a scientific journal, and you know it's not.
Why?
Oh, we've now got the new word, scientific journal.
You'd have to convince the local newspaper that it was newsworthy. That's the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference, and that's what, if you can present that on screen, Nathan, and just read it for the people that can't read it in too small on the mobiles.
Well, no, but if it's being published, why do cats videos of cats farting in a bath get more views than this?
That's funny.
Because it's the people watching it.
Right, anyway, your picture of this what is it, lighthouse is up.
It is.
Just read it, Nate.
Here they all go. Here goes the. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, go ahead, right? Convince the local newspaper that your findings are newsworthy. There's a hell of a lot of difference from convincing Nathan that it's true.
Yeah, but the
You
point
really
is I'm
believe-
trying, and that's what I'm being
That's the
criticised for not doing.
That's the difference.
Can you
Let's
see
see
that
how
that's
you- that
an email to news at
Really believe it's Ireland. There should be no drama. Go to the paper and get it published.
I've gone to the paper, and Paul, it's whether they take it as a newsworthy story or not.
You've got the evidence to support it, haven't you?
Why don't you fly Chris Monk over?
Can you not see the evidence in front of you now?
You
It
and
says,
Chris Monk could
I
go on
recently stayed
GMTV,
in
you
St.
can
Bees
upstage
for a
Mark
week's
Sargent.
respite from city life.
he
I brought with me my Coolpix P900 because of its fantastic zoom capabilities. Basically, I was able to see Ireland from St.
Make
Bees.
sure Chris
I had
Monk
to
is
do a
wearing
bit of
his tinfoil
homework to
hat.
verify
That should
landmarks, but I could see Portaferry
You could
in
get on
Ireland.
that
I could also see the two northernmost lighthouses on the beach. A small fat one is called Winky Lighthouse. Would you be interested in running a story on this? I think it's an amazing shot, and I wonder if anybody else has seen this kind of scenery, as the camera is quite a new release. I've made the attempt to try and get it
Want me to link your lights out?
Riley was so dumb. He thought that the people in the ship see the lighthouse. They didn't realise that they see the light. He thinks that they see the lighthouse is the actual lighthouse. That's how dumb.
You got any evidence of that weather vane being destroyed yet, Mark?
I don't have to.
again
Weren't
how the
my
moon's-
claim.
Yeah, you
how
do,
the
mate.
moon-
You're the one that claims it's
how the
been
image of the
destroyed.
moon
Weren't my
passes through the
claim,
sun
Riley.
during eclipse.
Yeah, you were the one that
What?
said it.
Riley, tell everyone how that they used to have to see the lighthouses. That's why he was using the dirty air. Because you was trying to say that the dirty air stopped the ship seeing the lighthouses.
So you can't prove your assertion to be true then, Mark. You know what happens when that happens? It gets dismissed.
Come on, Riley. Come on, Riley. Don't be shy, man. Come on.
Convince
Let's
the
have some
local
dirt for
newspaper
Christmas.
that the plaque is wrong and that you're right. There's a chance for you.
No, I agree with the plaque. The plaque is
They should
absolutely
put your
right. It
name on the
supports my
plaque.
version
Why
of
don't
events.
you
It
get
doesn't
your
show
girlfriend
anything
on
else.
so
The
she can
Riley
tell us
eye.
how to focus a camera, Riley, because she's the professional photographer and she let you produce evidence that's so bad. Can't you even zoom in a camera or anything or focus a camera, Riley? Why would a girlfriend let you put forward that evidence of that when she's a professional photographer
that the weather
and you
vane was
can't even
destroyed, Mark?
focus a camera, Riley? Why is that?
Because if you can't show that the weather vane's been destroyed, Mark,
Why
then you
is that,
can't make your
Riley?
assertion, and we can drop it, Mark.
He asked you a question, Riley. Answer the question.
And I've answered the question.
So your
I've
girlfriend's
answered the
not
question.
a professional photographer then, Riley, no?
I'm not claiming to be a professional photographer, Mark. But if you can you still prove your
What,
evidence
is
that the
is
weather
your
vane's been
girlfriend? She
destroyed,
sounds a
Mark?
bit like you. She got a beard.
Yeah, she got a massive beard. She's more of a beard than you have, man.
Okay.
Have you got any evidence to show that the weather vane's been destroyed, Mark?
It's not my claim, Riley.
That was your claim.
No, your claim was it was there, so you produced some evidence that it's there.
Yeah, we
So
have done.
you don't-
Ranty's done it
you're
twice.
not
He
confident
showed it in
then,
sound,
Riley,
his
you can
phone,
convince the
video,
local
Mark.
newspaper that plaque is wrong. Is that it?
No, I support the plaque. The plaque's correct.
I love when Mark and Huey are on together.
And has Paul got any evidence to show that molten iron can create its own electrical charge yet? I mean, that's at least 2 weeks old. Still waiting, Paul.
Anthony, we get it now. It's
The
his way
plaque
of
doesn't
Yeah.
say that you can see
You
iron
can't make
from there.
evidence. You can't make
can.
assertions
bring
without
himself-
proof.
he can speak verbally out loud. He can only do the "oh, I'm sorry if it bothered you" apologies type stuff. So there's.
I'm happy to
there's
round out on that
random
if Paul wants to
right
answer
there.
it, because I remember that
Boy,
debate. It was a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, I don't know if Paul wants to address that, because I'm going to round out in a couple of minutes, just so it's not left hanging there.
Did you just cut me off to say that?
Well, we're waiting for evidence from Paul to prove that molten iron can create its own charge, and I've been
No,
calling
we're
it
actually waiting for evidence. No, we're actually waiting for evidence from you, Anthony, that it can't, because that's your claim.
No,
You
you're
know
the
that-
one that asserts
you know
it
they've
can.
used sodium,
I've been asking you for
and
weeks,
you
and I'm going
know-
to keep asking you, Paul, until you come back with it. Can you
You know they
prove
did
that
it with
molten iron
sodium,
can
Anthony.
create its
No,
own charge?
We're
or
actually
not?
waiting for you to provide evidence that it can't, Anthony.
No, mate. If
because
your
that's your
assertion,
claim.
just like Mark's
You're the
assertion,
one
is
that
that
made the
the weather
assertion.
vane's been destroyed, you've made the assertion that molten iron can create its own charge because thingy can, sodium
No,
can. Now I'm asking you to prove that it can, because we
Yeah,
all
you
know
made
that
the
certain
assertion.
metals
You know they
have
did it
different
with.
None of that matters.
Did they do it with
Prove it
sodium? Did
or
they
not?
do it with sodium?
Yeah,
Mark proved that the weather
Chris,
vane's been
Riley
destroyed.
thought sodium
Wait a
was liquid salt, so he's not
Oh,
really
So
up-
basically,
yeah,
so
he's
basically
not
there's
really
no
up to
evidence
this.
from Mark.
So
Whether
he
it's
gets
been
salt in it.
destroyed, no evidence from Paul that iron
Why
can
is
create
this
its own
about
charge.
Did it
the
with liquid
ability
Do you
salt.
all us have any
iron to
evidence?
create its own
No.
And
Well,
with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tolerating all of the technical issues and, of course, for sharing the show. Thanks indeed. And secondly, a huge thank you to all of the debating panel for, again, putting up with the technical issues and for making this debate possible. Be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley. I'll see you all in the next video.